Alright, today we're going to be on Cliff, guys, once again in the Hawk 30, and once again on this map. This is probably the third time I'm bringing you Cliff, and we've also done a lot on Sand River recently, but the games I get into on these maps, I think they're, continuously informative, right? And on Cliff, we're going to be on the north spawn now. I've showed you the south spawn a couple times, I believe, in the last month or so, and now we're going to be on the north, and watch what I kind of do from the north, right? The north is a little bit different because we don't have access to that little area over here, that little pocket. So I'm going to try and get a shot into the Hawk here. It misses. It's kind of tough because the LT-432 was sort of blocking my shot. Not that that's his fault, really. T-92 makes a very aggressive play here. Where this shell goes, I don't know, guys. I would slow the replay down and do free replay camera if I really cared that much to show you, but that shot was... I couldn't believe that shot didn't go in. Maybe I was just behind him, but sometimes weird things happen like that. In fact, there was one shot that I posted on Reddit, and I rarely post on Reddit, that I took at a light tank that was going like this. I hit him dead on in the center of the tank, and the tracer went right through his tank. Right through the tank, and it didn't even hit on the other side. So where that shell went, I have no idea. Sometimes you get these ghost shells that just, whether it's a, wicked, wild, what do you call it? Like a connection issue, right? Like there's just all of a sudden this huge surge in your connection or whatever, or the game servers, or it's just, not the right, the game mechanics just have a severe issue out of nowhere, right? I don't even know the proper words to explain this, but hopefully you get what I mean. It's one of two things, right? It's either a crazy connection surge or it's game mechanic issues and the hitbox is just broken for a moment. Whatever, man. I don't know. But it's happened to a lot of people, so I want to say that I'm, just trying to use excuses or something like that, but really this is a term that people use, is ghost shells, right? And it does happen from time to time. So whatever, man, that shot might have just missed, we don't know, but let's continue on here, guys. And this is what I like to do. I like to poke this area of the map because you can see we got a shot into the 121B here, and this is something you can do. And then if no one pushes this, which is kind of rare, a lot of people will like to push around this corner and sit right here. If no one does that, you continue to poke up and you can take shots at people that are in this area, right? So I'm going to just give you a quick overview. So check this out, guys, right? Let's go to the free replay camera. The way this map works, at least from the center, I did a very detailed map strategy video on Cliff recently. So I'm not going to go into detail on that, but the way this works here, right, is I'm actually going to do it like this. I'm going to show you like this because I think it'd be easier. Let's go from like a view of the lighthouse. We can almost do that exactly, right? Go to the lighthouse right here. Like, this is what it looks like from the lighthouse, guys. How cool is that? This free replay camera is awesome. But anyway, let's take a look right from here, right? The way this center of this map works is you have a big rock formation right here, and you also have this rock formation right here. So if you're careful about doing it, you can poke like this, and you can also poke like this, right, on people. However, the way it works from my spawn, it's much harder to do from my spawn because this rock is not as big and you're open to a lot more shots. So you have to be really careful the way you do it. From their spawn, you can easily go like this, poke right in this corner, and hit people like this on their sides, into their side plates rather. And this rock formation will keep you safe from people that are sitting in this area, the tank destroyers that are sitting in this area, like RHM, Su-130, with their gigantic guns that are going to whack the crap out of you. Watch out for that. But anyway, you can poke this, right, and do that and stay safe because of this rock formation. I feel like a good amount of people don't know this, so try that out, guys. But also, from this side of the map, okay, it's sort of the equivalent. You're safe to poke right here, because if you're poking right here, these pillars, the way they are, block you from getting hit by people in this area. And they also, this one in particular, also kind of blocks you from getting hit by tank destroyers that are going to sit in here. Because you will have shots if you sit in a tank destroyer here. But you just got to be careful that they don't shoot you like this. But you can kind of poke like right in the middle of these two pillars and you're safe to do so. Trust me. You might get hit. It depends on the angle, like through here. But I'm telling you, you're safe for the most part to poke around in this area until someone comes around from the corner like this. So that's what you have to watch out for. Getting back to this replay, you can see I'm sitting right here. And from this bush line, you can actually, or this bush, it's really just a single bush, right? You can spot people that are going to go like this. And this Type 5 Heavy, I don't know what this guy was doing, man. I don't know if he had a really bad connection. He either disconnected, AFK, or he's just like doesn't know where to go, like where to put his tank. I'm gonna load an HE, smack this building right here, so I can have better shots at him, making sure I'm not lit and I'm not. You can see G-Sor is actually spotted back here. So the light tanks on the hill are doing a great job in countering this, and G-Sor basically just melts off the map. But this building is not fully breakable. That's what I realized. So it's unfortunate, but I'm still trying to get shots at this guy. Now kind of watch how this progresses, right? I'm going to start making a play to do exactly what I told you guys. And this is somewhat risky, but look at the lineup of tanks over here and look at the map, right? Really the only threat is the unspotted Scorpion G. If he's sitting out here, that might be a problem. If he's over by this Borisk, not going to be an issue. My concern is the Scorpion G. That's the only concern. It's kind of a question mark, but I decided to take this risk, and what I'm going to do is push all the way to this rock. And what you can do is sit right here, as long as, again, you don't have anyone in this area. Because look, the way the shots are, if someone is about here or any further back than that, like here, they're going to have shots at you. So you have to be really, really cautious of that. But I'm going to poke around, and I can take shots at this guy. The 121B is in an area where I can kind of use this building to keep me safe from the 121B in particular. But we've also taken the far side, the east side of this map. So I know the 121B is now going to be concerned with the TVP over here and the Su-130. So now I can poke around and have side shots right at this type, right? And I think this guy's connection is just really bad, man. I think something is messed up with his connection, because he just doesn't, he's all out of sorts over here. Like his tank is just freezing up and stuff, and I really think it's just his connection. So I can poke on this guy now, right? See how he's kind of trying to target me? He tries to hit me there, and now he looks like all of a sudden he's playing well. So again, I really would think a connection issue. But I can load my heat shells, and you really need the heat to pen the sides of these Type 5 Heavies, man. These Type 5 Heavies have armor everywhere, especially in the front, but on the side plates as well, and even in the rear. Like, it's ridiculous, man. They're like mouses, right? They're just hard to pen pretty much all around. But I'm able to take side shots at this guy, and again, I wouldn't always make this play that I made, right? I try to take a quick snapshot of him there. I don't want to get hit by this guy because the Type 5 Heavy has a nasty gun, right? But I wouldn't make this play all the time, guys. Again, it's very dependent on who's over here. I'm kind of leaving myself open to shots from the Borisk, at least when I was right here. Now that the Type's dead, I can pull around the corner a bit, but I'm leaving myself open to shots from the Borisk and possibly a Scorpion G. So this is a risky play, right? But as I always tell you, risk equals reward, and you can kind of use this rock to aid you a little bit. So people really need to aim to hit you, but you are not safe here entirely from this area. I want to emphasize that. I took a risk here in making this play to try and win the rest of the map for my team. So just be very cautious of where you can get hit from, right? So now that I'm sitting here and the Type is dead, this is not as much of a risky play because I have this entire rock formation to keep me safe. And you can see the shots just are not there. So now I'm going to sit here, permaspot the CC1 Mark II, right? And I can sit here indefinitely because now I'm safe to do so. I'm going to poke around the corner, try and get a shot into the Su-130. I'm risking a shot from the Scorpion G if he's sitting back there, but I don't believe he is. I think he ends up being back in like K1. But now I can poke around, try and hit this guy. I don't need to. My team cleans him up. And now it's just the Cobra, the Borisk, and the Scorpion G. So now at this point, I'm going to come around the corner, try and get a shot into the Scorpion, and I'm looking out at this hill to see if the Scorpion was sitting back here. And that's why I look at it and I'm starting to do the Steel Gut Slalom. I'm starting to do the weave because I don't want to get whacked by someone in this area. However, Scorpion G ends up being out here. Borisk is here. And now I'm going to take shots at the Borisk. Somehow that HE doesn't pen. It's just the way it hit. And Borisk targets me here. I'm going to come back around, hit him again with the HE, and that one pens. And now I'm whacking this guy, man, because I know that the HEs will effectively pen him, and we're at 2,300 damage, and I'm going to try and get one more into him, but he starts running away there, and now it's just the Scorpion G, guys. So we're going to fast forward here. The Scorpion G sitting behind this rock. He's not able to get shots into me, but I'm not able to get shots into him, and that's the game. That is the game. But that is how I play this from the north spawn. Again, it might not be the greatest example because we pushed this side of the map, we pushed here, like we won basically this entire portion of the map. And once you do that, I'm telling you, anyone in this area, it's the easiest cleanup job, you know? I mean, it's ridiculous how easy it is to clean up the enemy team. Once you own the entire high ground, anyone who's sitting in any of these squares here from K like 4 all the way to G4, like, or G1 I should say, like that whole pocket here. So on the map, like this entire area, guys, you're not safe anymore. Like, people will have shots on you from all angles, and it's a GG, man, and it's game over. So the high ground is very, very important. Again, I'll just briefly show you guys the way I drew this out last time. You basically have zone 1, 2, and 3, right? This is another zone, but I don't even like to mess around with this area of the map because in my eyes, it's not important, right? It becomes a stalemate. What's important is taking zone 1. So initially, perhaps winning this area that I've scribbled out on the map is important just so you can win zone 1. But once you have zone 1, and again, I showed you this little pocket in a light tank right here, which is very important to hold down zone 1. So once you have zone 1, you have shots going at zone 2, and then you have zone 3 over here that kind of goes around the corner. And this, in my eyes, zones 1 and zones 2 are the most important spots on this map. The hill is also pretty important to take, but if we're just talking about the entire team taking one position, not necessarily light tanks for a moment. If we're talking about the entire team, zones 1 and 2 are pretty vital. Zone 3, I believe, is a little easier to defend from. However, it is important to take zone 3 because you can flank into people that are in zone 2 as well. So this is how this map works. But zones 1 and zones 2, in my eyes, are going to be the most important because when it comes to taking these two zones, if you have both of these areas won on the map, zone 3 is really no longer an issue. And when you have zones 1 and 2, you're able to pretty much effectively clean up anyone in this entire area and also on the other side of the map. Especially from in our spawn, right? Because it's easier to scout that, in my opinion. You have like these bushes here on this side, but on the other side you have even better bushes, and you will spot that whole area. So this is why, and watch that video. If you haven't watched the video before this one, where I went into detail on this, watch that video first, because I think I explained it much better. I won't go into it anymore, guys, but again, this donuts and the middle of this map, I feel like, are very important spots of the map to take. And I would argue zone 1 is actually even the most important, but the problem is you need to effectively win zone 2 in order to use zone 1 effectively. So hopefully that all makes sense to you guys. Hopefully this helps you out on this map. This is Cliff. I might have said Mountain Pass by accident, but I meant Cliff, guys. We're on Cliff. And let's take a look at the end plates. So sometimes I get these map names confused, man. You'd think I would know the map names. Like, I learned map names so fast in Call of Duty, but it's taken me thousands and thousands and thousands of battles to remember the names of all the maps in World of Tanks for whatever reason. 1152 spotting, 2348 damage, guys. 1079 experience for this one. Look at the TVP and the Kunzenpanzer, man. These guys had insane games, and yeah, we just had a slightly better team, guys, right? Like, I always tell you, even the best of the best players only hold like 60-something% win rates, 65% if they are like insanely good, right? This is a very team-based game. You got 15 players on each team, so sometimes it's not always that easy to carry. And keep in mind, I hold about a 56.5% win ratio, but I never platoon with people, ever. Like, maybe my dad here and there, we play lower tiers, and yeah, my win rate's better at lower tiers, but it's also less competitive. But keep that in mind, I like never ever platoon. There's people that platoon a lot, and if I platoon with good players, my win rate could be like as high as 60%, right? So I wouldn't be overly concerned about your win rate, guys. 16 shots fired, 9 pens, pretty standard on this tank, man. Like, you would think the accuracy would be a little bit better, but it's not always the case. And a fairly short game, guys. Again, our team was just much better, but it's my hope that you learned something on Cliff from this video. If you did, sub to the channel, guys. It would really help me out. Like, comment on the video if you have any questions, and I will see you guys for the next one. Take care now, and bye-bye.